What's Hello everyone? My name is Derek Davis and you're watching the Vigilant podcast. Tonight, I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back now and I'm ready to get into our guest tonight. Tonight we have our very own 5th District RAYAC President, Reverend Stephanie Allen. She's the pastor over at uh,
Quinn Chapel.
Yeah, Quinn Chapel, sorry. Quinn Chapel, Jefferson City, Missouri. Um, so I'm going to be interviewing her about her life, I mean her ministry and what she does and everything. So my first question is, how you doing, River Stephanie?
I'm a little bit nervous, like I told you right before we came on, because I don't have a script.
Hmm.
So give me grace in these answers. But other than that, I am doing wonderful and I'm excited to be here.
I am excited to interview you tonight. Um, we're gonna go over some questions, and I may piggyback off some questions to ask what follow up questions. So my first question is, who is Reverend Stephanie Allen?
Okay, you want the long answer or the short answer?
Do
um,
whatever you
okay.
you want.
I guess the things that define me the most is I believe that I'm a servant.
Hmm.
I'm from St. Louis, from people say the north side or the west side, you pick a side, but
Hmm.
I'm from the city of St. Louis, and I grew up on a street called Lotus.
Hmm.
And that street is one, if you know anything about the lotus flower, that can grow out of the concrete. And you could look at the city and be like, okay, well, can anything live here? Can anything be produced here? And I'm evidence that things can be produced from the city of St. Louis. And so I'm a pastor. I pastor Quinn Chapel AME Church in Jefferson City, Missouri. I'm also a social worker, master level clinician, and I have been a social worker for 14 years. And so I recently just started a new position, getting back into the field. And so I just have a passion for people and always looking for different ways to be able to use the gifts that I believe that God has given me, and also working with people to like help heal. Let's see what else. I'm a TT, and that is like top tier. Like I'm not just like the lower tier. I'm like top notch TT. To two amazing boys and a sister and a great friend, and I'm an ally. So that's who I think that I am.
Okay, okay. And I heard, I was reading when I read in your bio, you said that you were um, a mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
I remember years ago. I didn't attend, but I watched when you all did the 5th District RAYAC mental health. Uh, what was it?
Oh, God plus me plus
Yes,
therapy equals the road to recovery or
yes.
healing. The road to healing. Yes.
Yes, and I watched that when it first went live, and I'm like, oh, she did good. And at
Mhm.
first, I didn't know who he was, but as I was observing over the years, I started to get to know you a little bit better. And then as I was listening to Fletch, he had mentioned you on our RIAC meeting a couple of
Mhm.
times. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, as you said, I've been passionate about mental health for a very long time. And I'm excited that within our district, Bishop's theme is mental health, mission, and music. And for a long time, it was like, okay, we need to focus on our mental health. Like, yeah, we want to bring
Hmm.
people in. Yes, we want to do these things, but our people aren't well. Like, and they're
Yeah.
telling us that they aren't well. What are we going to do about it? Our pastors aren't well. What are we going to do about it? And so the new initiatives that we, have going on and things, it's something that I can definitely align to. And as you mentioned, the I think it was like a session during planning meeting under Bishop Few that we did, and it was kind of one of the not first opportunities, but one of the more open opportunities that was designated for mental health within our district,
Mm-hmm.
that I was able to facilitate. So
Mm-hmm.
bringing my outside vocation,
Mm-hmm.
into my ministry, which is what I've always kind of strived to do, is to blend the two.
Okay. 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 And our next question is it's going in like in the background of Stephanie Allen.
Okay.
So where where did you attend college or seminary?
I gotta clear my throat on this one. I attended for undergrad the Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University in Huntsville, well, Normal, Alabama, that was founded 175 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 150 years ago. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of my church, which is 175. So 150 years ago, I got my bachelor's degree in social work from there. I also attended Washington University, the Brown School here in St. Louis, for my master's in social work. And then I attended United Theological Seminary in Dayton, Ohio for my master's in divinity.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
And
been doing homework in school for a long time.
yeah, I would be something like me. I piggyback off what you were saying. I went to school for about 4 years, and then I
Mm.
quit, and then I went back, and then I quit again because just couldn't take it.
No, I still wake up like in the middle of the night thinking I got to respond to two classmates. Like
Hmm.
let's talk about that trauma. That thinking that you got to do an assignment in the middle of the night. And I've been out of school for a minute, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can relate.
yeah. Those discussion boards killed me in high school. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in college. I mean, yeah. So our next question is: name one piece of advice you got from someone early in ministry that you take with you wherever you go.
Ooh, okay. Name one piece of advice you got. Um, I think, and it wasn't. I don't even think that it was to me, but it was mentioned by Reverend Charles Belcher, who was once the pastor at my home church, St. John AME on the Kings Highway.
Hmm.
And one of the things that he said was that we don't say it often enough, but it's a two-word phrase, and that's thank you. And
Hmm.
what impact that has when you tell someone thank you for the things in which they've done, and how they've supported you or shown up for you. And so I'm always making sure that I'm appreciative in relaying that to my members, that I am thankful that you guys showed up. Like through everything that we're facing, through whatever is going on, you're still here, you're still trying to thrive and bear fruit. And so I express my gratitude. And then I think my mom taught me that when you cross over the threshold of wherever you are, whether that be your job, whether that be your church, whatever, it's no longer about you. It's about the people that you've come to serve. And so
Hmm.
when I cross over any threshold, whether it's in the social work sector or cross over the threshold at the church, whatever I was feeling got to take the back seat, because I'm here to do a job and I'm on assignment. So I think that those are probably the two things that, being thankful and expressing, saying thank you, but then also moving in actions like you are thankful.
Okay. Do you? I find myself thanking God every day that I
Yeah,
wake up, because if you don't thank Him, you in trouble.
yeah, yeah. And thankful for your life. We could say we thankful for objects, but God, you put breath in my body. And I
Yes.
think that in this season of life, like working back at the hospital doing social work, I am more thankful just seeing people who don't have activity of their limbs, watching them, having to help them get on hospice, or when they're discharging, or, knowing that they are towards the end of their life. And it's not just older folks, like, it's not
Hmm.
just the people who are in their 80s or 90s, but I'm talking about 27-year-olds that you're trying to find in a hospice placement because life has been life in. So I'm definitely waking up with gratitude and thankfulness these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I remember I was always told that if You didn't hear a cold blue. You better wake up and be thankful.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So, my next question I have is, where has your ministry taken you in the AME church?
Everywhere. Every place you can think of, in places you didn't even know existed. Um, I have served in four cities
Mm-hmm.
in parts of Missouri. So I've served in at Allen Chapel in Hannibal, Missouri, at
Mm-hmm.
Bethel in Louisiana, Missouri, at St. Paul in Columbia, Missouri, and now in Quinn Chapel in Jefferson City, Missouri. And so it's taken me in truly those distant lands I tried, crying
Mm-hmm.
sinners come to God. Like that's where ministry has taken me. And of course, being able to go to the various conferences and different places in which they're in. And before I even knew what it was, to know it was ministry, being involved in YPD, I probably
Mm-hmm.
got more miles in traveling with YPD than people who are twice my age have. So I didn't know I was quite doing ministry when we were doing the mission trips and all of those things. We called it just, the mission trips. But knowing now and looking back, it was definitely a foundation of me accepting my call and then being comfortable to work in the call, because through YPD, like, I learned how to public speak. I learned how to hold a meeting. I learned how to, meet people from different places and find similarities or whatever it was that we were trying to do. So, shout out to the YPD.
Yes, yes. Yes, shout out to the YPD. I love YPD, and actually I still, in my conference, I still do YPD things, fundraisers and stuff at my local church.
Okay.
Yep, sometimes like Super Bowl day, Karen, and
Yeah.
and like chili fundraiser or bake sale, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That.
so I talked about the destinations, but I think it also took us into the nursing homes. It took
Mm-hmm.
us into schools. We, as you said, Super Bowl of Karen went into many shelters and food kitchens and places like that.
Mm-hmm.
The places that maybe not were most comfortable, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that exposure and being able to see how people are really living gives you a different lens. And it gives context as to, you know, what it means to serve those who are hungry, who are naked, who need to be clothed and fed. And realizing that it's not like what you see in the movies, that some people are just as clean and smell
Mm-hmm.
just as good as we do but don't have no food in their refrigerators, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it just kind of put things in context. So
Yeah.
ministry has taken me a lot of places.
Yeah. I one of those projects um is MLK Day.
Mm-hmm. A day on,
So
not a day off.
yes, one
Yeah.
of my first favorite one, because I was born on MLK. I was born on the 15th, the same day as MLK Day.
Oh,
So I honor him working on my birthday. I've done it a couple times.
okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like to do. I like to give back, because if you give back, it says God will give back to you.
That's right.
Yes. So our next question is, I read in your bio you have 14 years of professional experience in mental health and gerontology. What is gerontology?
Gerontology is the study
Gerontology.
of it's the study of older adults. So, like in social work, some are passionate about working with community development policies and procedures,
Mm-hmm.
youth and adolescents. I like seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So gerontology is a study of older adults. So a lot of my background is with mental health. I kind of in grad school I did an individualized study, and so mental health and gerontology were my concentrations.
Okay, because I'm like, what is that G word? I've never heard of that word in my life.
You learn something new every day.
Yes, 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 yes. And you was mentioning about the Rayak. You're
Ray.
the Yeah, Rayak. You're the fifth Episcopal District Rayak president. Explain to viewers what that is.
So RAYAC is the Richard Allen Young Adult Council, and we are represented on all levels. So
Mhm.
connectional, dish, Episcopal, your your conference, and your local levels. And
Mhm.
so it is for persons ages 21 to 45, and it is an organization that creates representation, right?
Mhm.
Because you want someone that looks like you, but it is your pastors, it's your lay leaders, it's people within the congregation. And so we decided, well, I wasn't there when they created it, but it was
Mhm.
decided that there needed to be a concentrated group, an intentional group that would uplift, that would, and I actually put it up because I didn't want to get all of it wrong, but responsible for discipleship. So bringing young adults into the covenant relationship with God, leadership training. How do we continue to carry the torch? Not just when it's handed off, but in
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
process as we're growing with the church. It focuses on fellowship, being able to be in communion with one another, networking, and also to provide opportunities for young adults to use their God given talents. And what we see is just representation in so many spaces. Like RAYAC is taking up space, not just in our district, but in other districts are serving as your lawyers, your doctors, your social workers, your teachers, your pastors, whatever it may be. Like we really doing the work. And
Mhm.
so that's what RAYAC is. But more than just what it says in the discipline, it is a family, like it's a unit. That you always know that you have a group of people that are rooting for you, right? So what our district RAYAC means to me is some of the closest people that I may talk to every day, or I may only see when we're at conference. But when it's
Mhm.
time to conduct the business, or when we're thinking about what is it that we stand in need of, how can we fill in the gaps? Where can we, exercise our talents and things of that sort? It is really just people who are trying to move the church forward and build community. And so there's always an open door for anyone. This is my appeal since I got the platform. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That if you're between those ages and want to know more, please don't hesitate to reach out to your local church or within your conference, or even to me, because we want y'all to join us and we have a good time. We just recently had a retreat called Unplug, Breathe, and Believe,
Mhm.
and it was a fantastic time. It was a fantastic time where we had facilitators that spoke about everything from healing, fixing things that we didn't break, securing the bag, learning about how lyrical reflections and seeing yourself in music, and then also knowing more about the family church. So we do all kind of things.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds good. I think it's. I think it's. I think Ryak is. For those kids that are transferring out of YPD, it gives
Mm-hmm.
them something more to do in the church, like other than lay, and like for the women, the Women's Missionary Society.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I think the great thing about Rayak is that you can be Rayak and be everything else too.
yes.
Like it's not just like, oh, I'm Rayak and I can't be a missionary or I can't be in the lay, because
Hmm.
some of our people within Rayak are officers,
Yes.
district officers in their organizations. And so it's just being an ambassador for the age group more so than the organization, is that
Hmm.
when you go into your spaces, you are carrying the thoughts and the heart and the spirit of RAYAC, that when you get there, you're absorbing this information and you're coming back. So we know what's happening in the different areas within our church. And then we get our marching orders, then we go back to our areas,
Hmm.
and this is what we're looking for, this is how we want to move forward. So it kind of works. And then even within the guidelines as to Ray, it is to be in collaboration with the other organizations, YPD included. Like, we're not trying to poach YPDers, although I'm not against it, but that's not the main intention. But it is to give leadership and guidance and a sense of mentorship to those that are coming into their own, because it's supposed to undergird so that people don't fall through the cracks. because at a certain age I was in YPD, but at a certain age it's like, okay, well, I'm 21 now. Like, what this 13-year-old, what we really got in common?
Mm-hmm.
I still served within YPD.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would have been nice to have something else that like you can do it dually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I totally agree with everything you just said.
So it could be seamless. That was the last thing I was gonna say.
Yes.
So it could be seamless. Hmm.
Yes, I agree because I joined. I help out with riot events. I attend, but I just don't. I attend riot events sometimes when I'm free, and sometimes I don't. But uh,
Hmm.
yeah, riot is a good Christian experience is what I like to say.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my last question that I have for you today is tonight, actually, is what is something you want to be remembered by?
Cool. Okay. So I think the something I want to be remembered by um is the I guess it's a lot of things, but I'll, I will keep it brief. The last line of my bio is actually a quote from Martin Luther King that says that longevity has its place, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worried about that right now. It has its own reward, but I just want to do the Lord's will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel. Like, sure, I would love to live a long life. I would
Mm-hmm.
love to touch everybody and do all of these things, but as long as that when I'm done, I can say, God, I used everything that you gave me in every capacity. I might have been tired. And I probably
Mm-hmm.
complained along the way, like, Lord, like how much more, how much longer? But I want people to be impacted. I want
Mm-hmm.
people to see me and experience God,
Mm-hmm.
um, to be a vessel, because this life isn't easy. It is not something that we can make it through alone. We weren't designed to be alone. We weren't designed to face giants and whatever and try to tackle things, but we were supposed to be within community. And
Mm-hmm.
so I hope that those that I come in contact with, my friends, my family, even strangers, feel community with me, that I could support, and whatever it is that we're trying to build, that we build it together. I got at least one brick for you. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, Reverend Allen, this is my last question. First of all, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. For the,
Yes.
for the viewers out there watching, you can watch on my YouTube channel, Derek Davis 6347. Like, comment, and subscribe. I am not able to get. Um, I'm not yet set up to get paid by YouTube yet, but if you want to support my podcast, you can. Yeah, it takes a minute. Um, if you want to support my podcast, my cash app is Derek Lamont D. It's in the ticker below. So once again, I want to thank you, Reverend Stephanie, and you'll be seeing me soon, my fans, and we thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Yes.